Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's everybody doing? It's a fantastic day today. People are like, no, it's not. It seems like so many people are just, I was just talking to our fantastic moderator before we came on, and I'm like, man, I'm just feeling tired. I don't know what's going on. I think it's in the air, and I'm like pumping up my hydration. Although in Michigan, uh, it's like 100 degrees here, which is crazy. Hello, Marcus. Nice to see you. Fantastic. Minnesota. Fantastic. Spirit hunters. Fantastic. Yeah. You know what? I've got a lot of questions regarding like heavy energy that were just emailed, tons of them. Hi, Miss Julie. Hello, Kristen. How are ya? So we might actually touch on that today, like heavy energy, how to perceive that. Um, Hello, Miss Jackie. How are you, love? Fantastic. Yeah, I feel like it's pretty heavy out there. I don't know if it's just, um, the season for it, if it's the awareness. We have so many funky changes astrologically. We're going through one now right before the Lion's Gate in August. And it's, the first one that we've had in 1,000 years that is comparable to it. And that's definitely throwing everybody who's a Sag in their chart, it's throwing them off a little bit. But it just feels pretty heavy out there. I know when I start to get a bunch of cases that are dealing with heavy energy, bumps in the night, not really sure what's going on. That's a pretty good marker of just the energy that's out and about in our planet in general. Thanks so much, Marcus. I appreciate that. Um, you know, I'll get cases that are, I feel like there's a presence in my space, in my place, in my home. And sometimes it will be just Aunt May, it's just Aunt May. I'm not getting anything heavy. But as of late, there is quite a bit of heavy energy. It's imperative that people are aware of their thought processes and how that will actually attract negativity to you. It's just like anything else. If I tell you to focus on the color purple all day long, your mind will be focused in on anything that's purple in your environment. It's just our human nature, right? And as human beings, whenever we have something that is incredibly important to us and it is affecting us, such as finances is a big one. So if you're worried about your finances, you're constantly feeding off of that worry. And everywhere you look, everything you do throughout that day is going to be a reflection of that. Oh, I have to get gas. Oh, I have to buy food. Oh, I have to do this. My kid ripped the knees out of their pants and I have to buy this, or I have to buy more product for this. And it's just going to be feeding that negativity that is related to that thought process. And it's incredibly hard to catch yourself when you're doing that. And I can completely understand why people fall down that rabbit hole, but it's detrimental because we're magnetic beings, right? So if we have this negative thought process, anything in our environment that is negative is going to be attracted. So that means if you're at the gas pump or the grocery store or wherever it is, and there's a lot of folks that are hanging around there with their own negative energy, you're also attracting it to you. So essentially, your aura is going to be covered in goop. It's just going to be pretty funky. and it's going to weigh you down, and you're not going to feel good. And over a period of time, it gets worse and worse and worse because you're feeding off of that negative, cast off energy. So imagine yourself, if you're breathing in a bag, pretend like you have a bag around yourself and you're just breathing off all the negative thought process and breathing it back in. So that's the only thing that you're feeding your energetic body. And after a while, and I'm not saying this is immediate, I'm not saying this is even within a few weeks, but the probability of that growing, the probability of you attracting even heavier energy to you is very high. It's very high. So spiritual hygiene, definitely something you can do to help dissipate that, catching yourself within those moments of saying, yes, I get it. I know things are pretty crummy right now, but this too will pass. The reality is not everybody has a crystal ball. And I know that's so cliche, but tomorrow we have the free will to change. And what can be shitty today, it only takes that one change to make it better tomorrow. So instead of looking for all the ways in which this is an incredibly shitty situation, focus on the ways in which you can actively do something to make it a better situation, even if that's changing your thought process. And only that, it can make a really crappy situation much, much better. Let's see. What does she say here? So me lately, I hate it because I'm so not like that. It's exhausting. Yeah. And I swear, I think it's palpable. It's in the air. And I'm being very metaphorical when I say that, but I do feel like there's a propensity of so many individuals that are experiencing that. So many individuals that are, I feel tired, I feel run down. And I think there's three things: hope, joy, and love. Those are three things that you should integrate into your life. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Hope, joy, and love. Because without hope, you are going to constantly see nothing but dread. You're going to be faced with that. This is never going to change. So hope is a big proponent. I encourage you to fake it till you make it. That old saying. Hope. I hope tomorrow is better. I hope tomorrow blah, blah, blah happens. Hope, hope, hope. And I'm glad, Julie. I'm really glad. Joy. Find joy. There's so many people that are living every single day where they're going to work, they're coming home, or now a lot of folks are working within their home, and you're doing the same thing. I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm taking care of family, or maybe you're single and you're just working and you are just taking care of yourself and there's no joy. Find the things that bring you joy. I do not care what it is. Is it painting? Is it taking a walk? Is it working out at the gym? If it is, you're nuts. That's not me. That's definitely not me. I have to make myself go to the gym. But find the things that bring you joy, whatever it is. If it's some silly comedy, if it's a cartoon, if it's something from your childhood that sparks joy, and remembering that particular time frame in your life. Hey, Dominic, how are you? Just try really hard to find things that spark joy. And if you are not sure of what that is, find it. And don't stop until you have found it. Is it finding a good recipe? Whatever it may be. And love. Love is so important. And I have so many students, so many clients who are deeply, passionately loving and caring individuals. And Unfortunately, they have, by the time it comes to love themselves, they have already depleted it completely on everyone around them. So they forget to also include themselves in that. And that doesn't mean 5 minutes a day, give yourself the exact same time, attention, and love that you would give to someone else. Yeah. Thank you, Christine. You have to be able to find that time. And I know it's super easy to make excuses. It's way easy to make excuses. I'm too busy right now. I'll do that later. I have X, Y, and Z to do. I need to be more productive. Taking time out for yourself is very productive. Don't let anybody tell you differently. Taking the time out for yourself is ensuring that your mental health, your spiritual health, and your physical health is actually, they're all correlated, that you are sustaining a healthy mind and body. And that's what's important. If you want to keep heavy energy away, that's what you need to do. It sounds super simple because God did not make this difficult. He made it very easy. And when I say God, I mean that in the broadest of terms. Whatever God, your deity, great spirit, whatever that may mean to you, super easy. Find joy, hope, and love. So does anybody have questions regarding heavy energy? Because I have got a ton through the email, just a lot of people that were requesting it. So let's see what Julie has. I will totally take this advice to heart to be less miserable. I love you. That is so sweet. To be less miserable. I love it. Hello, Darren. How are you? Okay, let's see. I used to enjoy working at the museum, but now I just force myself to go. And it is some of that fake it till you make it, But also, if you're no longer finding joy in that, it's perfectly okay. It is perfectly okay to say, you know what? I think I'm going to look at other prospects that may find me joy. And I think it's awesome that for, an extended period of time that you found yourself doing what you love. But if you don't love it anymore, that's okay if you move on elsewhere. And look at those different prospects and see what that would mean for you. Okay, let's see. If you have heavy energy, can you receive new guides? Absolutely. Absolutely. Actually, there will be a very specific guide that will come to you whenever you have any struggles that you're dealing with in your life, in hopes to assist you deal with that, learn lessons from that, and eradicate it as best as possible. Heavy energy, can you lower the heat? Can you lower the heat? Yeah. But yeah, losing or utilizing the information that the guide brings to you is super important. And if you have those moments, because not everybody is clairvoyant, not everybody is clairaudient, not everybody can see and hear spirit, but you can sense the energy around you, or that energy is around you, and you can feel that very loving light energy. Then you also have the opportunity to utilize the information that's given to you. And it's always to assist you. Do you see me changing my career path? I'm so done with this energy that I can't shake at work. Okay. Yeah, that's what I figured, it was shake. I think by February, it's not going to be soon, but I feel like February, there's going to be a change. I also feel like I've talked to you before. I don't know why, but I feel like that. So like November to February, I feel like there's going to be some pretty important changes that are happening with you, that by default will affect your career. Yeah, by default it will. And I think it's much needed too. I don't want to say it's like super horrible. It's not that. I just feel like there's this, you're like consistently are waging a war within yourself. It's just super draining. I almost feel like you're self-sabotaging by staying. I hope that that makes sense to you when I say that. It's almost like towards the end, you're like giving reasons for them to let you go. Okay. So, okay. Thank you for responding. Yeah. Does anybody else have any questions that they would like answered in regards to that? Hello, love. How are you? So how can you set your space up while you guys are deciding what you're going to ask? I'm going to keep rambling. How can you set your space in a way that will prevent you from absorbing heavy energy? Let's say you're at work. And I know everybody is pretty familiar with crystals in the metaphysical world. So any crystal or stone that is black in color is going to be a protective stone that will help to some degree to dissipate heavy energy or to stop you from absorbing that. I think the misconception is that people believe that by holding or carrying or wearing the stone, that is going to stop all heavy energy from affecting them. And that is just simply not true. It's not. If that was the case, there would be no issues in this world. There would be none. You have to set yourself up successfully with carrying that stone. You know, are you taking your kind of placement with God, whoever your God is, your deity is? Are you asking for that protection? Are you acknowledging that you need that protection? Are you also communing with your team and saying, I'm having a tough time right now in my life, and I'm having a tough time maintaining good boundaries. I need extra support. That's what I mean by having boundaries. That's what I mean by utilizing the space that you're in. There's a multitude of different implements that you can take, but I'm telling you, the easiest, the most effective one is by communing with your God and your team. It is the most effective and the easiest one. Sure, you can absolutely take crystals with you. And I have counseled people who have tons of black crystals that it was not effective because the meaning behind it wasn't there. They just believe that that stone is going to do its job and that's it, because that's what they were told. It is a heavy misconception. It will do a lot of things and it will do a lot of work, and those crystals will work very hard for you, but you also have to work hard for yourself at the same time. I have a lot of crystals. I'm so having them on my person from now. Awesome. I'm having a tough time too at the moment, but also have my good days. Good. And you know what? Those good days are what is going to carry you over for those days that may not be so good. And I know it's hard. I don't want to blow smoke. If anything, anybody who knows me, I'm not the metaphysical mentor that's going to blow smoke up your butt. I'm not going to tell you every day it's going to be rainbows shooting out of your butt crack and everything is going to be fantastic. I know that it is very much perceived by people who, claim the title of light worker or metaphysical practitioner, that if you are in this perfect stasis of denying any heaviness that's in your life, that everything will be perfect and peachy. That is not true. It's just simply not true. And I'm sure you can go on Facebook, Instagram, other, YouTube, TikTok, and you'll see a lot of people that are playing the game, that are saying everything is fantastic, but you're not seeing when that video shuts down. You're not seeing them behind closed doors. Every single human has challenges. If you have a pulse, you are going to have a challenge in your life. And it is in those moments that you are challenged that nobody is going to save you, friend. Nobody in this life is going to save you. Educate yourself to become resourceful so you don't need anybody else, that you look to yourself to give you the love, compassion, guidance, boundaries, protection that you need for yourself. And I'm not saying that to be, crass or rude. And I'm sure it's probably jarring for a lot of folks to hear that, but there is nobody that is going to save you. And that's a beautiful thing, because you don't need anybody. You can do it yourself. And I think that's freaking fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, Patricia. How are you, love? So what happens if you're just hearing this for the first time? And you're like, wow, I can totally resonate with this, and this is what's going on. And I feel certain places in my house where, it just feels heavy. Well, here's a clue. If you're having trouble sleeping, most likely, and I know everybody jumps to, evil. No, it doesn't mean evil. It means heavy energy. It means cast off heavy energy, most likely due to the cast off thought processes that are being contained in your environment. And if that's negative and it builds up, it's not going to feel real good. It just simply won't. If you are a person that is experiencing a lot of anxiety, that's most likely why too. There is a number of things that you can do in order to clear that particular space, or to, and I know this is really said a lot, but raise the vibration of the space, which is crucial. It's imperative. So one of those ways is stupid easy. It's fresh flowers and water. And I mean, I don't care if you go to a field and you pick them. Get some flowers, put them in some water, put them in the space. It will actually help to raise the vibration in the space. I'm a huge proponent of the vibrational energy of color. Color has a lot to do with it. I'll make it really, really easy for you. Go online, literally type in colors of the chakra system, and you want to pick the highest color within that chakra system to raise your vibration. And I'll make it really easy. It's white. So white flowers are fantastic. If you want to add some personal power to your space and you want to feel empowered, if you're feeling really down or doubtful, use yellow. Get some yellow flowers. It's that easy. It's that simple. It will absolutely raise the vibration. You're bringing in the water element, and you're bringing in absolutely life, and that is going to help raise the vibration in the space. Another thing that you can do, because I know a lot of people are that aren't really taught in how to safely or accurately sage a space. These, again, are just my suggestions. I've recommended these many, many times, and it has been very beneficial. If you have Florida water, you can spray Florida water. It will help raise the vibration within your home. And just so you know, Florida water is made out of what? Flowers. That's not a coincidence. That's not a coincidence. So, beautiful opportunity for little things can make a huge difference for you. Now, if you're completely aware of how to sage a space and to clear a space, then by all means, sage the hell out of it. But if you aren't aware of how to do that effectively, then these are my recommendations. Incense is also a fantastic recommendation. Absolutely fantastic. So rosemary is great for anybody who is practicing as a psychic, is a psychic, or are, quote unquote, newly awakened, because that is going to keep, the mind very clear and the space clear. Rosemary is great to eradicate the etheric cast off energy of just mental processes. And I recommend that for anybody who is dealing with lots of internal dialogue and negative thinking. Those two things are fantastic for that. And frankincense and myrrh is great to raise the vibration. Fantastic to raise the vibration. And you can't use it too much. Let's see. I have actual sage and sage incense. Fantastic. And again, if you know how to use it, fantastic. I encourage you to do it. But for those who aren't really familiar with how to implement it or how to use it, these are just some quick, easy, effective ways. Houseplants are great, Casey. So snake plant is a fantastic vibrational raiser. And there is, oh, you caught me off guard here, kid. There's another one. I'm going to have to look. I'm going to cheat, okay? Because I cannot remember these names, and that's just the reality of it. I just got this the other day, too, because I was looking it up, actually, for my bathroom. I have adult children who live in my home. And, do you remember when you were in your 20s and you were always in that comparison mode and you're like, I want to be as cool as this person or look this pretty or do these things? Your bathrooms and probably every bathroom across, your area, people look in the mirror and they're always finding disparities. I don't like this. I wish I could change this, or, I'd like to be like this. And that builds up in the bathroom. So I actually looked this particular one up. Hold on, let me get the name of it. Compacta, Compacta. That particular plant is fantastic for eradicating. Now, there are many, many, many different plants that you can use for many different things. I'm a big believer in the ZZ. It's literally the letter Z money tree, not just the Americanized Western money tree, but the authentic ZZ money tree is fantastic for raising the elevation of the vibration in the home. Those are all great. And I believe that any positive energy is great energy. And I probably, without lying, I probably have maybe 11 plants on my main floor. And I think in the upstairs, there's probably 6, maybe 7. Yeah. There's quite a few. Big, huge believer in it. And fresh flowers on every floor. And I think, yeah, it is in every one of our bedrooms as well. So sage and sage incense are fantastic. Yeah. Responding to Julie because she had asked that. Thank you for posting that, Christine. You're fantastic. So being mindful of the energy that you're sitting in and catching yourself when you start to fall down the mental rabbit hole of, I'm overwhelmed because this is happening in my life. As a shaman, I'm confronted with many people on a daily basis who are having those issues. And the moment that you perceive yourself is lacking in whatever capacity that is, I lack, I want, I wish, is the moment you say, I don't have enough. And when you do that, literally your body responds to that in a negative way. It says, I am not safe, I am not provided for, and I do not have enough to survive. And you will automatically throw yourself in that fight or flight mode. And that's where anxiety comes from. It is that feeling of, I do not have this. I do not have this. I am fearful. And fear is absolutely a vibrational killer. It absolutely is. So when you find yourself kind of falling down that rabbit hole, and obviously, if you have a pulse, we have trials, right? If you have a pulse, if you're breathing, you have had trials. And I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying that you can completely jump into this new mode right away. But the important thing is to catch yourself when you start to go down that mental thought process. Stop and go right here, right now, at this very moment. Don't look at next week. Don't look at next month. Look at right here, right now. In this moment, I am safe. I am secure. I have home. I have shelter. I have food. I'm okay right now. And remind yourself of this right now. And then you can let go of the perceptions of what will happen. We're constantly, as humans, we're always going through this thought process of worst case scenario. Oh my gosh, what if blah, blah, blah happens? So you have this perception of what in the future is going to happen. Train yourself to then go, what if it all works out? What if we can train ourselves over the course of our lives to worry about, what's going to happen, this awful, dreaded event, and make it huge. We can also train ourselves that every single time, what if it all works out? What if it's perfect? We're wasting a lot of our time and a lot of energy. I see that so much with people. Wasting so much energy worrying about what may possibly, maybe one day will happen instead of focusing on it could actually work out. I would way rather spend my time focusing and projecting my energy into what if everything works out perfectly. Even if I don't know what it is, even if I have no clue. Let me see here. Oh, I'm trying to click on this. But what if it isn't? I'm sorry I couldn't resist, but you're right. Putting that energy out there in a positive way with the what ifs. Yeah. So what if it isn't? Did you worrying about it for 2 months change that? honestly, you're asking me, what if it doesn't work out? What if it doesn't, your plans, your perceptions of what would be the best thing for you, right? Like, I'll give you an example. I want to have this job that I've been seeking. There's an example. And I don't have this job. And you're wanting it, you're wanting it, you're wanting it. And it doesn't happen. It doesn't work out. And you're like, oh my God, it didn't work out. But what if that was a really, really shitty job? What if it wasn't paying you your worth? And that's why it didn't work out. What if the next job was the best job for you? And what if God had bigger plans than that shitty job to begin with? So we want to do what ifs. That's the what ifs. I guarantee you, God has saved me so many times from things, choices in my life that I thought were absolutely fabulous because he had bigger prospects for me that I didn't even think of. So what if those prospects that you're concerned about, whatever it may be, what if God has bigger plans than you could possibly imagine that you could never think of, whatever God may be for you? Let's see. I have no idea how badly I needed to hear this today. Thank you. I appreciate it. I had a horrible job, but I love what I do now. Fantastic. Now, I'm not sure who this is, but yes, absolutely. I'm so sorry. It just tells me Facebook. I can't type today. Let's see. What did she say earlier? I say that to myself all the time. Worrying is going to do what? Yes. Yeah, exactly. Worrying is going to do what? Oh, it's Miss Katie. So sorry about that, love. But yeah, our time here, we all come into this life with this expiration date. All of us do. We are not immortal beings as much as some would claim to be. We're not. We all come in with this perceived expiration date. Why can't we have fun while we're here? Why are we beating our heads against the wall, doing the same shit, expecting different outcomes? I mean, honestly, that's what I feel like. This is your playground. You're not supposed to suffer. You were not designed to be in pain. This isn't a punishment at all. This is your playground. What do you want to do with it? Find joy, find love, find peace within yourself. Right here, right now in this space. And I'm telling you, I read energy. I feel the energy. And the energy from the time that we started to the time now, just talking to you, is the ability to raise that vibration, change your thought process. It's all about your thought process. What you believe, you perceive. What you perceive becomes your reality. And that is your co-creation. That is your co-creation. Let's see. What is she saying? Is my name not coming? Yes, it's coming up, love. An X is an X for a reason. Yes. Yeah. Well, we have X's on poison bottles, don't we? An X is an X for a reason. Absolutely. That's one of the things. Yeah. Some people's do come up. Other people don't, for sure. So does anybody have any questions regarding this? Okay, so my final little, because I'm waiting to see if anybody, let's see, here is somebody right now. Ooh, it's jumping. Okay. I sense my energy when I'm home and that it's really heavy, but when I'm out of my house, I feel free. Well, yeah, your house, you know, and I've talked to you a few times, your house needs to be cleansed. Like you need somebody, a professional, to come in and cleanse it. That house, and you know what, if you email me, and if you look at the top right above, whoops, my head right here, there's my email address. You can email me and I'll see where your area is and I can connect with the shaman that's in your area. And you know, they can set it up with you. You need to have somebody come in and cleanse that house because you have a lot of moving parts there and the energy is heavy. And that's something I always say to people. If you pull up to your house and you don't want to go into your house, ask yourself why. What about the energy in the house that you don't want to go into? What about that? That's going to be your first question to yourself. And if that's the case, I have a large network group of individuals who are shaman that I'm sure I can find somebody in your area. How do we reconcile that? If this is our playground and we are supposed to enjoy it, then how do we fit in the refugees in Ukraine? I am so lost with that. How do we fit in the refugees? How do we reconcile that if this is our playground and we're supposed to enjoy it? Yeah, we are supposed to enjoy it. Are you saying because there's refugees from Ukraine, what they're going through, the crisis that they're going through? I'm assuming that's what you're referring to. Well, they have the opportunity, right? So for them in particularly, lots of people have left Ukraine. Lots of people are here. Lots of people have quietly amongst themselves or neighbors or inner groups spoke of this happening for quite some time. This could have been prevented a long time ago, and it wasn't. It's still your playground, but who are you giving your power to in your playground? And make no mistake, any place that you're living, there is somebody that is calling the shots, whether it's your government or other individuals. They're still controlling that. It's your playground, absolutely still your playground. Who are you giving permission to control it? That's the reality of it. I hope that makes sense, and I hope I answered that. I'm sure they're not enjoying themselves. Absolutely, they're not enjoying themselves. But again, I think it goes to who you have given your power to. Who have you given your power to? I'm no psychic or shaman, just offering some outside thoughts. Maybe the house isn't home to you. Maybe you have to find your home. That is from, I believe this is going to Miss Katie. I believe that's going to Miss Katie. Thank you, Karen. I said Karen instead of Darren. Sorry about that. You're welcome. You're welcome. And I'm just sitting here thinking about what Taryn just said. Maybe the house isn't home to you. Oh, here's Taryn again. Yes, when she said she doesn't feel herself in so many ways when she goes home. Yeah, you know what? I think you're right. And I feel that here's somebody else answering. great answer. Whatever the energy is there, I think it's still theirs. Yeah, I feel like there is a lot of heavy energy. There's ancestral energy, and there's also earthbound energy, and there's negative thought processes, and there's limited space in a lot of those corners. So I think there's just a plethora of different things that are happening within that space, for sure. So, but great response. Well, I would like to thank everybody for joining me this evening. And I know I'm cutting out a few minutes early, but I had an appointment that I absolutely couldn't miss. So I will be cutting out a few minutes early. I just lost my mom, and I'm wondering if she's mad at me. Well, first and foremost, let's see. There's so many things I want to say that just bump. And I'm thinking that's why I'm quiet. You know, I get, Miss Dee Dee, I get this thing where I feel like something was hidden, and it's not really being showed to me what it is, but I feel like something was hidden for a period of time, and there may be some unresolved feelings towards that between the family in general. I feel like there's some unresolved feelings, almost like there's a split within the family. I feel like a lot of pressure has been put on you as well. Is she mad at you? No, she's not mad. I think she's sad that there is this disparity between the family, and she is hoping that there's a unification that takes place. And I know a lot of that pressure is on you to do that. Yeah, that's my feeling in regards to it. I hope that you found that helpful. But no, she's not mad, honey. Definitely not mad. Okay, so we have Taryn and Julie. Thank you so much. I think they're just chatting amongst themselves so much. You're welcome, love. Absolutely, you're welcome. So again, thank you. I'm sorry I have to cut out a little bit early, but I do have an engagement I absolutely cannot miss. I just wanted to make sure that I got to see you guys, even if it's for 50 minutes tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you next week, same time, same place. And thank you so much, Taryn. Have a great night, everyone. Bye-bye.